Hi all, I am Abhilash. I along with my friend Harish is going to explain how face recognition is done using 2D PCA. In this basically new technique coined two-dimensional principal component analysis is developed for image representation. As opposed to PCA, 2D PCA is based on 2D image matrices rather than 1D vectors. So the image matrix doesn't need to be transformed into a vector prior to the feature extraction. Instead, an image covariance matrix is constructed directly using the original image matrices, and its eigenvectors are derived from the image feature extraction. To test this 2D PCA and evaluate its performance, we have done experiments on the ORL databases. In this, we found that the recognition rate across all trials was higher using 2D PCA than PCA. This experiment results, what we have done, also indicated that the extraction of image features is computationally more efficient using 2D PCA than PCA. Before going to 2D PCA, we just first know what PCA based face recognition is. This PCA this PCA based technique was developed by Turk and Pentland in 1991. Since then, it has been widely used in face recognition tasks. They both argued that the face could be reconstructed approximately as a weighted sum of small collection of images that define eigenfaces and the mean image of the face. Generally, this paper was called as a eigenface recognition paper. Generally, in the PCA based classification, the image is transformed into the 1D vector, and the PCA is applied on the 1D vector so as to reduce the dimensionality of the image vector. After the output of the dimensionality reduced is known as feature vector, dimensionally reduced feature vector, and we have to go, we got all we have to do for it all for the training samples and obtain the feature vector, and then classification we have to do based on our own choice, either it be Euclidean distance or the Bayesian classification. Generally in PCA, we need to convert the image into the vector, calculate the covariance matrices, calculate the eigenvalue, and calculate the eigenvalues, and calculate the eigenvector corresponding to the maximum eigenvalue, and project all those samples onto the eigenvector. Before going to 2D PCA, I just summarize what are the problems associated with the regular PCA, means regular eigenface recognition done by the Turk and Pentland. First, the image is converted into the image vector. This resultant image vector of face usually lead to a high dimensional image vector space where it is difficult to evaluate the covariance matrix accurately due to its large size and relatively smaller number of training samples. See, if an image consists of 25 cross 25 matrix, if we want to convert it into the vector will be 625 cross 1, and the covariance matrix obtained from this will be of dimension 625 cross 625. It is a huge set of data. Fortunately, the eigenvectors can be calculated efficiently using singular vector decomposition techniques, and this process of generating the covariance matrix is generally avoided. However, this doesn't mean that the eigenvectors can be evaluated accurately in this way, because the eigenvectors are statistically determined by the covariance matrix no matter what the method we have been using, either it be singular vector decomposition or the calculation of covariance matrix traditionally. Now let us know what the advantages we have done using 2D PCA. As opposed to the regular PCA, 2D PCA is based on 2D image matrices rather than the 1D vectors, in which we are rather than 1D vectors, just by transforming image into vector. The image matrix doesn't need to be previously transformed into vector, and Instead, an image covariance matrix can be constructed directly using the original image matrices. In contrast to the covariance matrix of the PCA, the size of the image covariance matrix using 2D PCA is smaller. Because if we take an image of 25 cross 25, if we convert it into the vector, we'll be getting 625 cross 1. And the covariance matrix obtained will be 625 cross 625, which is more in dimension. In 2D PCA, we will be calculating image covariance matrix, and hence the covariance matrix obtained will be also of size 25 cross 25. This helps in computational, hence we can achieve computationally efficient. As a result of the above mentioned factors, 2D PCA has its own advantages. The first advantage is it is easier to calculate the covariance accurately. Less time is required, and the second one is the less time is required to calculate the corresponding eigenvectors. Because these two advantages are possible because the dimensionality in the covariance matrix is small as compared to that of the PCA. Now let us discuss the idea and basically the algorithm used in 2D PCA. Let X denote an n-dimensional unitary column vector. Basically our idea is to project image A of some dimension m cross n random matrix onto X by following linear transformation as shown in the slide, y equal to Ax. Here X is the direction along which all the samples are projected, and A is an image, and Y we got the future vector of the image A. Thus we obtain an m-dimensional projected vector Y, which is called the projected future vector of image A. The main task here lies is how to choose X. How do we determine a good projection vector X? The main intuitive idea is behind 2D PCA is the 2D PCA, the feature vectors obtained after the transformation y equal to Ax, there must be the maximum scatter among the samples. No samples must be mixed. This is the main intuitive idea in this 2D PCA. The total scatter of the projected samples can be characterized by the trace of the covariance matrix of the projected future vector, means y. Let us denote here as X is equal to covariance of the projected covariance matrix. We adopt the criteria as intuitively said above earlier. J of X is equal to trace of Sx. The covariance matrix Sx can be calculated as for the output feature vector of the y, Sx is equal to expectation of y minus expectation of y into y minus expectation of y whole transpose. As substituting y equal to Ax, we get expectation of Ax minus expectation of Ax into expectation of Ax minus expectation of Ax whole transpose. On simplification, we got trace of Sx is equal to J of X is equal to X transpose into expectation of A minus expectation of A whole transpose into A minus expectation of A into X. Let us denote the middle part in the equation as GT is equal to expectation of A minus EA whole transpose into A minus EA. This is called image covariance matrix. Hence you can see that the image covariance matrix dimension is n cross n. The main idea is to maximize the criteria J of X is equal to trace of S of Sx. The physical significance of maximizing this is to find a projection direction X onto which all samples are projected so that the total scatter or the resulting projected samples is maximized. In general, this GT can be calculated 1 by m into sigma j equal to m aj minus a1 whole transpose into aj minus a1, where m is the number of sample images. Means how many training images we are going to take. A1 is the average image of training samples. And upon substituting this GT, we get J of x is equal to trace of Sx, as said earlier, is equal to x transpose into GT into x. Basically, the optimal projection axis x is the unitary vector that maximizes Jx. Generally, this is an eigenvector corresponding to the maximum eigenvalue. In general, it is not enough to have only one optimal projection axis. We usually need to select a set of projection axes x1, say x1 to xd, subject to the orthonormal constraints. Means the corresponding eigenvectors must be orthogonal to each other. Means suppose x1 and x2 are said to be orthonormal if x1 transpose into x2 is equal to 0. Keeping these constraints in mind and maximizing the criteria j of x, we get j of x, we'll be getting x1 to xd such that argmax of j of x, means we will be getting eigenvectors x1 to xt of the top d maximum eigenvalues, subject to the constraint or subject to the orthonormal constraint xi transpose into xj is equal to 0. See the x1, x2, xd are the orthonormal eigenvectors of GT corresponding to the first d large eigenvalues. The optimal projection vectors of 2D PCA x1 to xd. These x1 to xd are all eigenvectors for the corresponding for the first d maximum eigenvalues, and these are used for feature extraction. For example, let us say for a given image sample A, we are going to find the feature vector for this sample image A. Now let us project this sample image A on to x1, x2, x3 and so on xd, and we will be getting corresponding scalars for the corresponding x case. And these y1, y2, y3 are used to form the matrix, n-dimensional matrix as shown in the figure, as shown in the slide, y1, y2 and so on yd, which is called the feature matrix or the feature image of the image sample A. Now after the feature vectors are derived from the image, we are going to classify using some classifying techniques such as Bayesian or nearest neighbor classifier. In this, we have used nearest neighbor classifier for classification. This is applied as follows. Given a test image, after feature extraction we will be getting some d-dimensional vector. We have to calculate the Euclidean distance between the all the training image feature vectors and the test sample feature vectors, and the minimum distance label is assigned to the test, and the minimum distance label is assigned to the test image, and hence the classification is done.
Hi, my name is Harish Kundapu. Now I am going to explain about the experiments which we have performed and the analysis which we have given from the results of our experiment. For our experiment, we have used ORL dataset. ORL dataset is also known as AT&T dataset. This dataset contains 40 classes and 10 images per class. Here classes refer to persons. But for our experiment, we have taken only 38 classes. We have applied both eigenfaces or 1D PCA or standard PCA and 2D PCA method to find which method is accurate. We have used different parameters to compare the performance of the two algorithms. Initially, we have started our experiment by taking the first 8 images of each class for training the model, and the last 2 images for testing. Later, we have changed the number of training samples to compare the performance of both the algorithms. Now, I will explain you how we are going to evaluate the results of our experiment. To compare the performance of both standard PCA and 2D PCA, we have evaluated some of the parameters like correct matches, wrong matches, recognition accuracy, total time taken for recognition process, time taken to recognize one sample, and total training time. These parameters are calculated by varying training samples. We have taken an accuracy of 90%. Here, accuracy doesn't mean the accuracy of the algorithm, that is standard PCA and 2D PCA. Here, the accuracy means the image accuracy which is reconstructed from the feature vector. Let me make this clear. I think at the beginning you all know that features are extracted from an image. Now, using these features, we are recognizing an image from our data set. In the extracted features, only few of them will contribute the major portion of the information. Now, I am considering that portion to be 90%. By reducing this 10%, we can improve the computational time as well as detection accuracy a lot. Because, for example, if we have 100 features, then in that, let us say the first 30 will contribute the major information. Like here in our case, the 90% of information. Now we are discarding the rest of the 70 features. So the calculation will be done only for the 30 features only. In this way, this will improve the computational time. And we have even calculated the number of eigenvalues required to achieve this accuracy. I think now from this graph, it will be clear that what I mean by accuracy here. If you see from the graph, only these eigenvalues contribute the major information and the rest of the eigenvalues will contribute less information. So what I am assuming is that this should be of 90% and this to be of 10%. But these percentages may vary depending upon the application. We are discarding this amount of eigenvalues because of two reasons. One, to reduce computational time, and the second, these may contribute to noise effects during our computation or calculation. Only this part is sufficient to reconstruct the image. I hope what I mean by accuracy here is clarified. In this video, I am not explaining about the process because the algorithm itself explains the process. There is nothing new to explain about the process because PCA is a simple method or a feature extraction technique which is straightforward. So now I will explain the results of our experiment. From our results, we can say that the testing time is much faster for standard PCA than 2D PCA. But actually we are saying that 2D PCA is much faster than standard PCA. Yes, it is faster in fact, but not in testing time. It is faster in training. That you can see in the coming part. We have even performed the experiment for that also. You will see why this is happening in later slides. 2D PCA even improves the accuracy. We all know that standard PCA converts image matrix into a vector here, in our sense, image matrix means the feature matrix. So we are unable to show them here, but we will show some results of the 2D PCA. And even the data set is of large size. Sorry, here there is a typo mistake. It is 38%. We will be showing some results of 5 test images along with the recognition images. Let's see them. Here you can see these are the test images and these are the recognized images. And similarly, these are test images and these are recognized images. The test images are also from the data set only, which we have earlier said that each class contains 10 images. Initially, we are training the model with the first 8 images and the rest 2 for testing. And from the rest 2, this is one of it. Now I will explain you about our results by using the parameters which we have discussed earlier, like correct matches, wrong matches, accuracy, recognition time, total recognition time, training time, and number of trained images. Here we are seeing another word, accuracy. Previously I have said accuracy. That belongs to the amount of information that is given by the feature which we have extracted from the image. This accuracy belongs to the methods which we are using, that is 1D PCA or standard PCA and 2D PCA. That accuracy determines the number of eigenvectors we should consider, and this accuracy shows which algorithm is the best among these. These results are taken by considering the first 8 images of a class as training images and the rest 2 as testing images, which means we have tested 76 images, out of which 1D PCA has recognized 71 as correct images and 2D PCA has recognized 74 images as correct images, and wrong matches are 5 in case of 1D PCA and 2 in case of 2D PCA. The accuracy of 1D PCA is 93.4% and for 2D PCA it is 97.4%, and the recognition time per sample is 0.0004 and recognition time for 2D PCA is 0.0006 seconds. In other words, it is 0.6 milliseconds. And total recognition time for 1D PCA is 0.03 seconds and for 2D PCA is 0.04 seconds. Actually, these values may vary with the type of system you are using, but more or less the values remain same. And the training time is 5.9 seconds and for 2D PCA it is 0.3 seconds. This is where the 2D PCA makes difference. For recognition time, see here, more or less both the methods recognize the image within similar time, but here 1D PCA takes more time for training rather than 2D PCA. With only one result, we cannot say that the training time for 1D PCA is more and for 2D PCA is more. So for that, we have changed the parameters like the number of trained images, and we have come to a conclusion. Now let's see them. So here you can see I have changed the number of training samples. Here this column indicates the number of samples which I am taking for training from each class. For example, we have 38 classes, right? In that, for each class I am taking 8 images for training. Here I am taking 7 images for training. Here I am taking 5 images for training. Here I am taking 2 images for training. Here I am taking 1 image for training. And the rest remaining images are for testing. Here we can see as the training samples decreases, the accuracy is also decreasing. Not only that, even the training time is also decreasing, and recognition time also, and the number of eigenvalues which it is considering is also decreasing. And it is similar for 2D PCA also, except for eigenvalues. From our experiment, I have found that the eigenvalues that the 2D PCA is considering remain constant, whether we are training with 8 samples, 7 samples, 5 samples, 2 samples or 1 sample. And also the training time for 2D PCA is very less, which means it is faster in training the model. From my analysis, I have found that in 2D PCA, we are computing the images all at a time by considering all the images as a book or a stack of pages. In a book, all the pages will look alike in terms of dimension. So if we find the feature vectors from that book, if we want to represent one page dimension, we will get some values, and those values will be equal to all the pages in that book, because all the pages in the book will have same dimensions. So the eigenvalues remain constant. But in case of PCA, if we are taking 8 samples to train the model, then it converts all the image feature vectors into all the image features into vectors. So if we want to represent the information of all the images, then the number of eigen vectors which we have to consider will be more. That you can see from these values. So if we are training the model with one image, then the number of eigenvectors required is 30. Whereas if we are training the model with 8 images, then the required eigenvalues are 219. From this, we can clearly say that 2D PCA is faster in training. Not only faster, but is more accurate than 1D PCA. And our final conclusion is 2D PCA is much faster and accurate than standard PCA. And we all know that standard PCA converts the image pixel matrix into a vector, or in other words, here our image pixel matrix is feature matrix, or the features that are extracted from an image. And from our results, we can say that eigenvectors required for computing remains constant in case of 2D PCA. But for standard PCA, the number of eigenvectors for computing changes with change in number of image inputs or the number of training images. And 2D PCA is much faster in feature extraction. We have even better models for facial recognition. Here for 2D PCA, to compute the covariance, we are using either row operations or column operations. That you can see from the expression covariance matrix is equal to expectation of A means our image matrix minus its mean value whole transpose into this A minus expectation of A. Here, for example, let us consider A is of size m cross n. M cross n. Then here it will be n cross m, and it will be m cross n, because expectation of A is mean, which is a constant. So from here we will get covariance as n cross n square matrix, which is equal to column operation. We can alter these two. Then we will get m cross m covariance matrix, which is equal to the computation of rows. We can even perform these rows and column operations simultaneously by using 2D square PCA. This is an extension of 2D PCA, but we are not discussing here. In this presentation, we are only discussing about 2D PCA. This is the further work for 2D PCA or further research approach. Thank you.